beautiful day in the Palmetto State and a beautiful matchup tonight in Group H. Charleston Battery playing host to the Tampa Bay Rowdies and presented to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. Arya Masudi alongside former MLS Coach of the Year and head coach of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, Thomas Rongen. A big match tonight in Group H.
Huge match. No losses for Tampa on the year. Charleston winning straight as well. Rowdies with a plus 10 goal differential. The Battery plus 7. Absolutely brilliant.
There's a look at Arthur Bachois, a goal in his last match against Atlanta United 2. Matter of fact, had an assist in that one as well. The Battery have been playing oh so well, and especially at home. 3 straight matches with 3 goals for the Battery. They have not lost since to the Tampa Bay Rowdies back on July 31st. Thomas, tonight, a big opportunity for this Battery squad.
Absolutely. Mike Anhauser, their coach, has done a masterful job with his team. Now they got to get a result on the road.
And speaking of the last time, Coach, a big win for the Rowdies.
Yeah, Sebastian Gunzati, that left foot, he's absolutely brilliant. Goes with that outside of the right, takes a deflection, 1-0. And then Malik Johnson, yeah, oop, oop, oop. Here we go, side netting, 2-0, game over, baby.
Putting them on skates there into the back post. And someone who's been putting people on skates all season, none other than Sebastian Gunzati from Uruguay. No goals, though, have the Rowdies allowed in their last 2 road matches. Thanks to that guy right there, former Charleston Battery player, now Rowdy captain. And one of 2 undefeated teams left in the USL alongside San Antonio. 21 points for the Rowdies this year. And San Antonio, winning last night, was able to get that jump. Group H, it doesn't get better than this. From the Palmetto State, the Battery, the Rowdies coming up. Don't you go anywhere.
That's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on your dreams. Wait, and if I didn't think it was worth one try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly.
As a child, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to give back to the community. Going to college, that's the first step. And the Life Scholarship just opened up doors because you're getting additional funding while I was continuing my education. I saw that there was a need in the community, so I started mentoring students within that community. I feel satisfied when they have that aha moment. It's so cool.
With HomeSmart from Home Telecom, you get the peace of mind of 24/7 security monitoring with all the convenience of home automation, starting at just $34.99 a month. Get smart control of your lights, locks, appliances, thermostat, garage door, and more. No matter where you are, the power is in your hands. We call that home away from home. For a limited time, save $50 on the HomeSmart Total Attack Pack with a free Skybell doorbell. HomeSmart, home automation and security from Home Telecom. Live life ahead.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
Right over the Cooper River, the Ravenel Bridge, connecting Mount Pleasant to the rest of the Charleston area. The Battery and the Rowdies tonight from Patriots Point. A 4-2-3-1 for the Battery. Coach, the outside back's going to be important.
Absolutely. Patterson with 3 assists on the year. Gadula's got a goal and an assist as well. Can they force their opponents in a defensive mode? So very important for Mike Anhauser that their fullbacks go forward.
Trying to get it to guys like Niku Daly, who's back in the 11 after coming off the bench against Miami FC in the middle of the week. Now for the Rowdies, they attempted and tested with it last week. They must have loved it. 3-4-3 back for Neil Collins' squad.
Yeah, and Forrest Lasso, the main man, obviously defensively. He is their rock. Oduro, 60 games played. The first-round pick for Seattle in 2017. And Fernandez back in their starting 11. 80th game, by the way, I think, for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Experience in the middle of the park.
Experience in the middle by Jordan Doherty. His 20th birthday tonight, and he gets to lace him up and play some soccer.
In support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Please join us for a 15-second moment of silence as we are all united against racism. Thank you.
Powerful moment there. The United Soccer League, all 35 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. We are all united against racism. First place in Group H, the Rowdies. Second place, the Battery. Number 1 versus number 2, Arya Masudi. Thomas Rongen, my entire crew joining you here from Patriots Point in the Palmetto State. Coach, this should be a fun matchup between two teams that are playing at beautiful soccer right now.
Yeah, and two teams that like to score, obviously, as well. So you're right. Both Neil Collins, the coach of the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and Mike Einhauser, tactically astute, but like their teams to go forward and be on the front foot.
Charleston has not dropped a match since July 31st when they fell on the road in Al Lang Stadium to the Rowdies. They won 3-1 in the middle of the week against Miami FC. They outshot FC 20-14, 52% of the possession, and it's something that head coach Mike Einhauser has been really working on, is trying to change things up to let their outside backs get forward a little bit more.
Yeah, without a doubt. As we mentioned already in the intro, Gadula with a goal in their last game, Patterson with 3 assists on the year. And can they force, the white players, Tejeda, Murphy, to have to defend that long stretches in their own end? That will be the key out wide, in my opinion.
You see Charleston in their home blacks, Tampa Bay in the neon yellow unis.
Interesting, too, that Tampa has changed their systems, and we all know what systems mean. They don't mean a lot, but still playing 3 at the back, where they were successful in the last game against the Charleston Battery. So Neil Collins going back to Scarlett, Lasso, and Gillen in that 3-man back line.
Neil Collins, the head man over in Tampa Bay, the St. Pete area, saying that they expect a different matchup, a completely different matchup this time against the Battery, as 2-0 was the score and the last time these two teams met. But Charleston, a much different team, coach, than they were 5 games ago.
Absolutely. You and I talked to Mike Einhauser, and he told us, yes, this team has changed. We need to get a few players on the same page, but Neil Collins has done a masterful job. Hasn't lost this year, one of 2 teams.
In his 3rd season at the helm of the Rowdies. There's Scarlett.
And Neil Collins, a former player of this team as well. I coached the Rowdies a few years ago, actually, at Al Lang Stadium, which is a brilliant, brilliant location on the water in St. Petersburg. And the tradition of the Rowdies are there, going all the way back to the NASL with the greats of Rodney Marsh, et cetera, et cetera.
2 starting 11s that both of these coaches feel comfortable with tonight.
Hey
By the way,
fans,
that
I'd like
lineup
to
was
let
brought
you
to you
all know
by
that
Bud Light.
tonight's match is proudly presented to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
You get a look at Joe Kuzminski, back now in his 3rd game. Was on loan at Maccabi Haifa in the Israeli Premier League, one of the powerhouses out in the Mideast.
And giving up only 6 goals this year for the Rowdies, 9 for the Battery. So both teams have been very consistent, obviously, in their attack and also in their defense. One of the reasons why these two teams are just so good this year. A well-balanced squad. Kelly and Crawford, the two holding midfielders for the Charleston Battery, versus Oduro, Fernandez, Doherty. Great matchups to see.
Guanzatti brings it down with the chest. Dispossessed there well. Crawford comes away with it and knocks it back.
And that's where Collins would like to get a little bit more consistency from his big man, obviously. Guanzatti, that scored 4 goals in the year, but hasn't scored in the last 2.
Birthday boy right there, Doherty. Out of Ireland. He gets the nod here tonight. On the road from Patriots Point. Up ahead to Tejada. A little too strong as it's knocked away. Johnson took a spill. They got sniped from the top there. As both teams still just trying to find their footing in the first 5 minutes of this one. Coach, Tampa Bay does a great job of pressing. They want to get the ball almost like Bayern Munich. Try and force you to lose it in your own half so that they can make the job easy.
And that's a great example right there, all right? I mean, the 2 center backs are spreading right now. They're trying to play possession out of the ball, but they force the Charleston Battery in being very direct, because one of the reasons is that back 3 is very good in the air, and that's just a matter of winning second balls, Ari, for this team here. So yes, Tampa at home likes to press, and likes to press quickly and aggressively. Tejeda's perfect for that.
Murphy running onto it here. Great piece of defense there by Patterson. Now the injury report presented by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. Kieran Mason out. Dom Oduro was listed as questionable, but he's in the starting 11 here tonight. His first action since August 16th.
And for Neil Collins to get Oduro back, both teams, as we know, Ari, are very deep. And with 5 substitutions, we've seen in prior games that they can change the momentum of the game by inserting some players off the bench that can, as I said again, make an impact.
Johnson cut off by Patterson, a throw for Tampa Bay. Now back to Scarlett. This Rowdies back line has started every game so far this year. Scarlett's played every minute of every game. Here's Tejada. Plays it back, now Oduro. Doherty calmly possesses. Out wide in some space for Johnson, closed down quickly by Patterson. Nice turn, inside feed, not gonna go. As Patterson clears it away, not out of the woods yet though. Or the Battery.
And we talked about this potential matchup.
Whipped inside, running onto it was Tejada. Great defense from Van Schek. Cleared away, and counterattack was one of the keys that Mike Anhauser said he wanted to see his Battery squad be able to do well right there. Not a clean pass.
No, and Tampa will possess the ball a little bit more than a Charleston Battery. That's just in their nature. And when you get out wide, the matchups, Johnson versus Patterson, Fernandez versus Gadula, is huge.
The Charleston Battery and the Tampa Bay Rowdies have come together to recognize the fight for equality, diversity, and inclusivity by using the next minute and 46 seconds from 7-minute mark to the 8-minute and 46-second mark. 2 very powerful and symbolic numbers, not to play soccer, but rather to honor the ongoing movement around social injustice and the need for positive change in our sport and in our society. And what you're seeing here comes just 3 hours after the unveiling of the Black Players Alliance, an organization recognized by the USL and the USL Players Association with a mission to educate and empower its members to use their platforms to bring positive change to their communities. What a moment that was indeed. 0-0, Arya Masudi, Thomas Rongen, the Battery, and the Rowdies. Here from Patriots Point in Charleston, South Carolina. A Group H match, 1 versus 2. As at one point it seemed like the Rowdies were going to run away with Group H. The Battery, though, over the last about month and a week or so, month and a half, have really closed things down. A win tonight. Thomas, the Battery have a chance to really put the pressure on the Rowdies.
Yeah, they absolutely do. I mean, they've been masterful, as you said again. 3-1 win against Miami, 3-0 over North Carolina FC, and then a 3-2 against Atlanta United 2. So 3 straight wins with scoring 3 goals in all 3 of those games.
Lasso plays it out wide to Johnson. Johnson very good at one-on-one and creating something out of nothing inside top of the 18. Tejada tried to slip it away and tried to find Guanzatti, could not do so. Gonna go out for a goal kick, Joe Kuzminski. Graduate of UAB. His 3rd game back. As I mentioned, played for Maccabi Haifa, who qualified for the Europa League. They're in the qualification processes early in those rounds.
Yeah, Mike Anhauser talked to us about doing a better job in that final third. I mean, if you look at their last game, both had 12 shots, but only 1 on target for the Battery, 6 for the Rowdies. So that final third, they need to get better.
And Oduro hoping to find an opportunity here to do a little bit better, but nice job from Gadula to knock it out.
Those are the matchups that I'm looking for right now. We know that centrally there's some great players, but out wide is where the game could be won or lost. Individual defending by Gadula and Patterson versus the speed and skill of the Johnsons, Tejedas, and Murphys of the world.
Thought maybe a corner kick was coming here for Tampa Bay, but Gadula does well to earn the goal kick.
And this game is played in a very good fashion. I mean, there was 26 fouls, by the way, in that first game. In the last game, 6 yellow cards, Ari, as well. But this right now seems that both teams are under control and are really playing the game.
Piggott plays it ahead. On the right side of the box, opportunity for the Battery, top of the 18, a low strike. But doesn't really test Evan Loro enough. A good strike, though, from Lewis. And that's our first real opportunity. Guillen. Oduro. Now Doherty. Johnson goes down in a heap. A whistle.
Yeah, it's a hard challenge by Crawford on that side right there, leaving his feet, making contact. And Johnson. And it's called against Malik Johnson with one of the 2 goals in the last game they played. Neil Collins not happy with the decision. Obviously, most coaches aren't. Trying to work the head referee.
There is Matt Thompson, the head official tonight. Ryan Graves and Joe Sichowski, the ARs. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportsamerica.com.
Great example again, Ari, by Tampa just forcing mistakes, by the high press as well. Can the Charleston Battery play through pressure with vertical balls, having players play between the lines? Right now, that's not happening, and Tampa really has started this game well. Methodical in their build-up, switching the point of attack. like to see the speed of play, Ari, to be a little bit higher for Tampa, because right now they're somewhat predictable.
Scarlett does well to find Tejada with a pocket of space. Closed down quickly by Crawford, former Rangers FC man. A little bit of possession here for the Rowdies and a mistouch from Fernandez. Now Lasso, long ball ahead. Fernandez running on, rather that's Murphy.
And that's where Kelly and Crawford are both so good. Kelly just intercepted a ball, Ari, right there. Couldn't get a hold of that, but they read passing lanes very well. They protect that back four of the Charleston battery in that 4-2-3-1.
And there is one of the longest standing coaches at any one franchise, Mike Anhauser. Only 3 coaches in the world can say that. And he is in his 16th season in Charleston.
A lot of respect for Mike Anhauser, who I know well, who, by the way, calls me coach still. Talk about respect. Thank you, Mike. But one of the good guys in the game and a great coach. And by the way, a vicious tackle right there.
Vicious tackle indeed. Coach, I got to tell you, you win MLS Coach of the Year. You've earned the right to be called coach for the rest of your life.
And Daly, this is a sign of frustration. You're 50 minutes in. We haven't called Daly's name. They're number 9, so to speak. They're lone striker. And he wants to get involved. So sometimes players do certain things to get them emotionally more into the game and hope their teammates will take notice.
Well, Q Daly's definitely made folks take notice in his time with the Jamaican U20 national team. 6 goals already as he's helping them and hoping to help Jamaica qualify for the Tokyo Olympics. The Kingston, Jamaica native.
Yeah, Jamaica. A lot of the Caribbean have some great players. Always tough battles. I coached the under-20 team in 3 World Cups and qualifying in Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica. They were always tough foes. Outside of the Central American teams, where we see some players as well from Panama in Tejeda that just touch the ball. CONCACAF's come a long way, baby.
Indeed it has.
And we see a lot of players in MLS or the USL making their trade to being outstanding for their clubs. All teams have great mixtures of true Americans that have come through our developmental programs and some foreign influences that has made this league so attractive.
Nico Clark, also a Jamaican international for the Battery. Leland Archer in CONCACAF as well, Trinidad and Tobago. And how can you forget Juan Tejada and the good work he's done with the Panamanian youth national team. Speaking of Archer, pushes the ball ahead, does really well. Springing an attack here for the Battery, top of the 18, left-footed shot just wide.
Yeah, that's been the second great sequence on that right side where they have had some success, and this time it's Kelly making the run without the ball, Ari, which is important. Finds space, is able now to cut inside on his favorite left foot. Plays with his head up and goes, you know what, I'm gonna go far post, and I'm telling you, that's just wide. Very similar in the attack a few minutes ago, where they've had some success against Gielan, and obviously Gudela, Kelly, and Lewis. That's a great triangle on that right side for the Charleston Battery.
Perhaps Dominic Aduro did just enough to restrict the vision as Tejada goes down. Whistle by Thompson. Van Schek. Got to remember the last time these two teams met, Jared Van Schek was sent off in the 81st minute with a red card, which allowed Tampa to get that last goal by Malik Johnson to close the door.
One red and almost 30 fouls. That was one battle, by the way. We've seen more composure on both sides' team. I'm sure both coaches have looked at that and didn't really want to go there. Tampa methodical in their build-up. Ari, Charleston trying to counter, as both you and I talked about, which is their strength, obviously.
9 goals in their last 3 matches for Charleston. A lot of that coming into the counterattack. The chip for Johnson. Heavy first touch. And now the Battery, maybe they can spring a counterattack here. That is Kelly. And the long switch found no one. Coach, 150 fans being allowed in the stadium tonight, the second game that the Battery have done that. And just a few season ticket holders allowed in, but Coach Anhauser said having some type of fan attendance, some type of presence can mean the world to this club.
Absolutely, and we get that sense as well. When there were no fans, Ari, I like that as well because it was so pure. And Mike Anhauser talked about it. He could hear the goalkeeper, the field players. I kind of like that, actually. What kind of communication is taking place on the pitch between two players? And it was very clear that you could hear that. The thump of the ball you could hear as well. But yes, we miss our fans. The players miss our fans because those are external motivations that drives players.
It's the first season that the Charleston Battery are playing at Patriots Point. This attempt, it doesn't do much, and it rolls for a goal kick. But first season at Mount Pleasant and playing at Patriots Point, a field that they share with the College of Charleston. They used to play over in Daniels Island, MUSC Health Stadium. Used to be called Blackbaud Stadium.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant stadium that was.
And it was brilliant, Coach, indeed, because it was one of the first soccer-specific stadiums in the United States, alongside Columbus Crew Stadium.
Yes. And they had some artifacts in the bar upstairs, actually, in that stadium. That was absolutely brilliant. Turnstile of the cup, the Liverpool great stance.
Big-time tackle there by Oduro. Piggott was motioning for a foul, was hoping for the set piece. Matt Thompson not having any of it. There is Dominic Oduro.
Yeah, Neil Collins is happy he's back because he's such a powerful presence in that number 6 position for them, and just show you why.
Patterson.
And that cultivated left foot from Patterson. If they can get into in good positions, they're both great crossers, Patterson and Gudella.
Charleston Battery has an entire new line of merchandise for their new era here at Patriots Point. Go to shop.charlestonbattery.com for the latest jerseys, t-shirts, hats, and more.
And the great Ralph Lundy, by the way, has been there at the College of Charleston for so many years. I've got some great memories there. My first under-20 team qualified there in Charleston to get to the World Cup in 2003. Mike Anhauser was part already then of the Battery.
Here's a chance now. Opportunity, finds the back of the net. Stavros Zarakostas, the Greek international, and the Battery lead early as Patriots Point, and the DJ go nuts.
Yeah, we talked about Charleston Battery's directness and being on the counter and allowing players to get in good positions. Zarakostas receives the ball, runs to the back 3, finds the seam, and then goes upper V. What a goal, by the way.
Battery goal scored by number 16.
How about the regiment going crazy there? Zarakostas does well here, Coach. What sets it up?
What sets it up is a vertical ball, we call that. We talked about getting past that pressure of Tampa, a 20-yard ball in a vertical way to find those players like Zarakostas. That is absolutely brilliant, because now it's turn, run at people, and that's where Forrest Lasso is not the best in terms of mobility. Great start, and good execution by the Charleston Battery.
Perhaps some momentum here for the Battery as Johnson taken down by Daly. Will we see our first card of the evening? Nick Daly pleading his case to Matt Thompson. Nick Daly saying, that's my first challenge, come on. I think he's done just enough to avoid the booking. Nick Daly, who's expanded his role this season for the Battery and been really one of the bright spots during this run from Mike Anhauser's group.
Thank you.
1-0 here in the early first 25 minutes. Group H, number 1 versus number 2 inside the group. If you're just joining us, Stavros Zarakostas, his second goal of the season. Foul here. It'll go the other way. Coach, Zarakostas, a player that Mike Anheuser said that he was going to insert into the starting lineup here tonight because he loved the way that he played the last time these two teams played on July 31st.
Yeah, and he rewards him right now. He was looking at 2 players that have to step up. Lewis, only 4 goals on the year, and Zaragostas that has been pretty good, but hasn't been able to execute in that final third. This time he did.
Third round MLS draft pick. The super draft by the New York Red Bull. I think the Battery are happy he's found his way to Charleston. Coach, Tampa Bay has been down a couple times this season, but this hasn't happened often where they've had to play from behind. As you see Tejada battling for it, and it's knocked away. Well, what does Neil Collins' squad have to do now?
It's still early doors, as we call that. I think there's no reason to change anything within the 11. At the 30th minute, you get your water, tactical break. And that's just an absolute brilliant pass by Kelly, splitting at midfield 4, allowing Zaragostas to run at the back 3, and then he goes far post with one of the best goals I've seen this year in the USL. 1-0, Charleston Battery.
Angelo Kelly played almost 2,000 minutes for the Battery a season ago. Here in his 10th appearance of 2020, he puts a beauty of a ball ahead that Zaragostas finishes, and Charleston feeling good about themselves early at Patriots Point. If there's a squad you can't ease the game into, it's against the Rowdies, who have been nearly perfect the entire season.
Yeah, and you know, obviously, both teams will eventually will make the postseason. But this is a little bit of a statement game for both teams, by the way. For the Rowdies to say, hey, listen, we beat you twice, and for Charleston to say, okay, after the 2-0 loss, we've learned our lessons. We're going to apply ourselves properly, and we're going to go 1 point behind you guys and make this a real race.
A little tug there from Daly. Scarlett goes down. Coach, Charleston hasn't beaten Tampa Bay since 2018. And there was a time where Charleston had the Rowdies' number when they first came back into the USL, but Tampa Bay, they've been the team that everyone's kind of had to look up to here for a couple years now.
Yeah, without a doubt. As I said again, this organization and Neil Collins as their head coach have done a great job. They have a system, they have a philosophy that bring players in based on that, and it shows. Good chemistry, well-balanced team. But the Charleston Battery this year have been also superb and have shown that with Kelly, again, pulling the strings in midfield.
We know how good Charleston's been offensively, but are you surprised that Tampa Bay doesn't have a shot on goal yet, or a shot period?
No, not necessarily, because the game started out with some caution, almost like the 2 teams that played not to lose, so to speak, because it's a big game, obviously. And then this game now with this goal, will open things up and will force Neil Collins to make his first move in terms of a chess match. He'll do that within his 11, and eventually in the second half, we'll look at some substitutions if this scoreline stays.
Now Johnson, maybe an opportunity here, knocks it around Patterson. It was last touched, I believe, by Patterson, so it should go for a corner, and it does.
Yeah, right now Patterson and Gadula being able to keep those wide players at bay, which is pretty darn good. It's a goal kick, obviously, 50-50. That could have gone either way, actually, Ari. I would have called it a corner, too, to be real honest with you. Tampa again with that high press right now, forcing Kuzminski to go long. And they haven't done much with the possession, though, and have been poor in the final third, as you said, in terms of getting anything at goal.
Kuzminski with the long ball. Johnson a little annoyed there at the assistant referee. Thought he had done enough to earn that corner. But it's been tough going here for Tampa Bay early, first 30 minutes. Keyword, it is early. Tampa Bay has found ways to come back from behind. Atlanta United 2, just one of the examples. Did well to earn a draw against the Birmingham Legion. Guillen chasing the loose ball, sends it forward vertically. Tejada flicks it on for Guanzati. Shoulder to shoulder, going down was Archer. Guanzati begging his case, saying, I don't think I touched him. And this guy was in immaculate form couple of weeks ago. He scored, that was Murphy, Kyle Murphy, going down in a heap.
Yeah, Tejada there in a 50-50. And the correct call by the referee. Anything turns the head, trainer comes on as well. Kelly is making his attempt early. He's making up his mind and leaving his feet and really is focused on the ball. I don't think there's any real aggressive attempt to hurt somebody there, but it's still a collision that goes against Kelly.
A hydration break.
Yeah, which I call a tactical break now.
Due to the high temperature at today's match, the referee has indicated that.
And now, Thomas, the power rankings here, Tampa Bay. The Rowdies at number 2, Orange County SC at 1, San Antonio FC has really surged the last couple of weeks. Why no Charleston?
That's a great question, actually. But if you look at this 10, so to speak, there's a case to be made for all of those teams. With a window, and let's don't speculate tonight for the Charleston Battery, I'm sure that they will move up in the power rankings and get in the top 10 by Wednesday.
A beautiful sunset.
Yeah, I know.
I just occurred in Charleston.
I just actually referred to Tampa Stadium, obviously where I coached, but we're in Charleston. Great stadium as well, just like El Lang, where the Tampa Bay Rowdies play their home games and have been dominant throughout, just like they've been on the road. So this is a real test for Neil Collins, Ari, as you said. How do they respond? They haven't been down this year. They're being played on equal footing, and they got to find a way to generate, obviously, more offense in that final third. So the onus is not just on that front three. You got to look at Johnson. You got to look at Fernandez, which we haven't called. I would like for Fernandez to really get a foothold in this game. Oduro, strong as their number 6. Doherty needs to pull the strings underneath, and has not happened. And you got to give Kelly, Crawford, the 2 holding midfielders, and Archer and Van Schaik, the 2 center backs, a lot of credit.
So we resume play from Patriots point. Guillen gets it forward. Now Murphy.
By the way, both teams 16 goals in the year. Battery right now at 17, so 1 better than the Rowdies. The Rowdies just better defensively. Only 6 goals allowed, the Battery 9.
Tejada now finding his way back onto the pitch. Took a little knock off the face a couple of minutes ago. Oduro linking well with Guillen. This is better from Tampa Bay, who love build-up play. It's not uncommon to see 12, 13, 14 touches in build-up. On a lazy giveaway there. And now, here is Niku Daly. Doing it himself, trying to chip it, but woefully misses the mark. Couldn't tell if he was trying to shoot or pass.
Yeah, Oduro just with a bad giveaway. When you have possession, Ari, and you get numbers forward, which the Rowdies do, the worst thing you can do in that area there is lose possession, because in transition, you have not a lot of numbers there. So Oduro needs to do a better job of protecting that ball. And you like for the Charleston Battery to do a little bit better on that sequence as well. Just weren't able to get away from Guillen and forced lasso.
Here is Guillen pushing it up into the attack. Fernandez. Touch to Oduro. Scarlett. Doherty. Long ball to Fernandez. Flag stays down, plays it across. Murphy sliding in. It was knocked away by, I believe it was Archer.
Yeah, Archer is so good. I mean, that's a trait of a center back. Making contact, being hard, not fouling, but winning that first entry ball is so important.
Got a look there of Kyle Murphy in his first year now. After playing with Loudoun United and Rio Grande Valley, the Toros, by this coach.
Yeah, switching the point of attack is one key to get behind that back 4. Great first touch there of Guillen, but even better defending, as you said, by Archer.
Johnson, he's been active here in the first half. Spikes on the top of the foot, and I believe he's going to go into the book. Yes, he will. Malik Johnson. And as the
Yellow card issued to...
That's a frustrated yellow card tackle right there. Patterson clearly has the better right now of Malik Johnson. That's a vicious, over-the-top, studs-up tackle that warrants a yellow card. And shows you the bad blood out wide, where Patterson and Gadula are two tough customers against anybody that goes forward.
Speaking of Johnson, Coach, he's a guy who's battled some ankle injuries of his own. He's only appeared in 6 games so far this season. It's just his 3rd start of 2020.
Yeah, but in the pregame when we showed the goal, his individual ability to get inside the box off the dribble is brilliant, but Patterson is having none of it.
Pressure being put on here from the battery. Lasso does well. Guenzati flicks it up, headed away by Archer. Coach, you surprised that Tampa Bay hasn't been able to control as much of this match as they might be used to?
No, I'm not, quite frankly, because the Charleston Battery are a tough team to play against, particularly at home. For a team that's undefeated, you would like to think that they could generate more offense. But I'm telling you, that back 4 with the 2 holding midfielders, which is a block of 6, is hard to penetrate. I'm a little surprised that Oduro is making his start. It doesn't look very good right now, and it can't really establish the rhythm. It's not necessarily your front 3, Ari. It's really the midfielders, with and without the ball, that make things happen. And that's not the case right now for the Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Lewis was looking for a teammate, couldn't find as it goes out. Don't miss a minute of action in 2020. Sign up today and get alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for the Charleston Battery or the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and then click on the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club. 36 minutes and some change in the first half here. Charleston got the early goal from Stavros Zarakostas, his 2nd of the 2020 campaign. And it's been a pretty even match so far, that goal just being the difference. Tampa Bay has grown itself slowly into this match, but the Battery have had the better of the opportunities.
Yes, and the Battery showing also that they have better momentum right now. 3 games, 3 goals, 2 of them clean sheets. You look at the Rowdies.
Zarakostas is through again, tries to get on his left, finding a teammate shooting, and it's blocked away. Now Kelly gets it to himself, touch just wide. Zico Lewis, oh so close to making this thing 2-0.
Just brilliant again from Zarakostas. Again, that ball over distance to get behind the back 3, in particular centrally, has paid some dividends for them as well. Zarakostas, they find Lewis comes in as well, and then a good opportunity for Lewis to get a good look at goal. It just can't get the touch that he wanted on that one, but good play again. And with a lot of games being played in short duration, if you look at the last 2 games for the Rowdies, 1-1 against Miami FC and a tough win, 2-1 versus Atlanta United 2. And because they're a little bit older, Ari, I think the spring in their game is a little bit gone from what I've seen early in the year. It's slower, passing sequences are predictable, and it becomes easy for an opponent to adjust and make play predictable for them as well.
These 2 teams are going to meet 2 more times this season because of the circumstances of 2020 and the virus. Teams are going to become well accustomed with each other. You don't play a team twice. You're going to see them multiple times in a year.
Yes. And that's where Mike and ours right now has done a better job than Collins by inserting Zarakostas. We talked about it with the goal. And with Oduro right now not being great in midfield, because that's the matchup actually. Zarakostas against Oduro, the holding midfielder. And Zarakostas is able to get away from him and find the ideal matchup against Forrest Lasso who's not the quickest anymore in the 3-back system.
Coach Anhauser really made it an emphasis, and you've touched on it a little bit here tonight. Charleston wants to get vertical, and they want to play direct. They want to make sure they're not messing around with the soccer ball, and you've seen that on both of the goals. Or excuse me, the one goal and the near opportunity here. The opportunities the Battery are creating is coming from those long balls from the midfield.
Yes, and the reason why is because that is on, so to speak. When the Rowdies build, obviously through 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 stations, you get players in front of the ball because of their movement, in their forward movement. So when it turns over, you have great situations, a 3v3, a 4v4, or maybe even numerical advantages, which the Charleston Battery twice, once they scored and the other time they didn't, have taken advantage of.
Doherty, long switch to Fernandez. Outside of the boot, was looking for a couple of his teammates. Murphy couldn't get on the end of it. And now the Battery, again switching and trying to play direct. Daly up ahead. Guillen does well to get there first, and then clears it right back to Charleston. Crawford, an engine in the middle for the Battery, going down. No call. And now Tejada, the fox in the box, gets dragged down. This has got to be a yellow card here, and maybe one that they were willing to take.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kelly knows it too. It's a tactical foul. He knows right now he needs to foul because if Tejada gets by him, it's a 3v3 going towards goal. So you take one for the team, so to speak. I'm not a cynical kind of guy, but this is the correct foul at that particular juncture.
Angelo Kelly, out of the state of Iowa, has played well so far here tonight.
Yeah. He's been brilliant on both sides of the ball.
Scarlett shielding Kelly off, gets it to Johnson. Johnson plays himself into a pocket of space, and he does oh so well. Numerical advantage here for Tampa Bay. Oh, a bit unlucky are the Rowdies.
Yeah, finally a little bit of pop out of Tampa as well, you know. Give and go, good combination play. But again, Patterson, the left fullback, coming inside, what you have to do. There's pressure, there's balance, there's support. And your left fullback gives you support right now. Good interplay there. Strong by Johnson. Even better defending, though, at the end by Patterson. Goes off Tejada, goal kick.
Looked like Murphy was trying to angle to get himself and make himself available for the ball, but a well done, nice job from the Charleston Battery defense. Oh, Zara Costas. His touch let him down there. He has been lively here in the first. Crawford feeds it up ahead. Now to Piggott. Kelly. Far side of the field, Crawford has it. 1-on-2, taken away. Guillen angling for some space, clears it, and knocked away. To the feet of a teammate, but not before a foul was called. It'll be Tampa Bay's ball. This Tampa Bay squad, Neil Collins' third season. Last year, 16, 8, and 10, finished fifth, 58 points in the USL. 2018, a bit of a rough one in Collins' first year, but you've seen the good work that he's been able to do. It's a franchise that you're very familiar with, having coached them yourself, but how about what Tampa Bay's been able to do this season? They're looking like one of the best 3 or 4 teams in all of USL.
And there's reasons for that. The ability for Collins to play out of a 3 or a 4. You might say in this particular game, he could have been better off with a 4. I'm not saying you would have prevented a goal, but it gives you a little more balance centrally, where they now have some struggles in 1v1s against, again, Forrest Lasso. But it worked well in their first game when they won 2-0 against the Charleston Battery. So Collins is thinking right now, what adjustments do I have to make at halftime? Who can I insert in that second half that can change this game? And how do I get more clinical in the final third? Because again, 0 shots for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, 7 for the Battery.
This is something that we don't see often when Tampa Bay is involved, especially here in 2020. They have been so good at controlling the pace of matches. But Mike Anheuser's club said to us when we had a chance to talk to him earlier this week, they felt confident about what they could do here tonight. And the way that they've been playing, confidence is a heck of a thing for a football team. I use the international term football. I'm sure the people at home watching, what the heck are you talking about, Masudi?
I'm sure they will know what you're talking about.
Hoping the diehards understood. Zico Lewis at a Spanish Point, Bermuda. What a story the Bermudan national team was, earning their first Gold Cup victory just a couple of years ago. Johnson swings it inside, knocked away by Archer. The battery not out of the woods yet. Pressure is on here from Tampa Bay. Can Charleston work its way out? They do. Even if it is a Rowdies throw-in, they did well to release the pressure out of their own half. This stoppage time brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Presented by MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
It'll be 3 minutes added. No shots still registered officially for Tampa Bay. They've been able to do this a couple of times, Coach, been able to knock the ball around in the midfield, but Charleston's done so well to close gaps quickly. As you see again there, in Tampa Bay, quite frankly, they've just been a little bit sloppy when it comes to the end product. Patterson, Van Scheck, and now Archer, Trinidad and Tobago international. Up ahead, going down in a heap. Was Lewis. Scarlett is really pleading his case to Matt Thompson. Looks like he'll stay out of the book. This will bring out the head trainer.
This stoppage of play is presented by MUSC Sports.
Weissenberger from the MUSC Health Sports Medicine team onto the pitch. Head trainer for Charleston.
That's just a hard challenge, cynical from behind. Anytime when you go through somebody in the new rules of FIFA, that's 100% foul as well. And good players like Lewis is, he'll be looking for that contact as well. This late in the game, fouls will help you because it chooses time of the clock. You're up 1-0 right now. You want to go up 1-0 into halftime. So Lewis is very aware of his surroundings and has great understanding, obviously, how to kill this game off. As I said again, for them to get into halftime with this 1-0 advantage.
Scarlett did end up going into the book, a late decision from Matt Thompson, perhaps just waiting for the trainer to come out onto the pitch. Long ball, handled very well and very cleanly there by Kuzminski. Johnson plays it inside, 1-2. Guenzati has it, bouncing around. Archer needs to do something here to get rid of it. And a whistle was called. Not sure if it was a foul, but Matt Thompson does blow the halftime whistle, and so it won't matter either way. Stavros Zarakostas gives the Battery the 1-0 lead early in this one. And Charleston feeling good about themselves after 45 minutes. This match brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. It's Charleston Battery 1, Tampa Bay Rowdies 0. fun one in Group H. 45 minutes down, 45 to go. Don't you go anywhere. Halftime coming up from Patriots Point after these messages.
So how is it?
Great.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete, you're obsessed, you're in love, you're in pain, spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity, because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat. You're not alone. You're supported, pushed, tested, tried, trued, broken, fixed, and put back on track to do it all again. Your road is long, on open highway, completely secluded, jammed with traffic, horns blaring, sirens screaming, speed limit, near misses, head-on collisions, body shops, rest stops, so many tolls to pay. Your destination isn't a place, it's a record, a dance, a feeling. Hands in the air, stands on their feet, joy all around. Because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health, Sports Medicine.
You need more layers, diagonal layers.
I got it, Ron. Thanks.
Leave him alone, Dad. Oh, honey, you should use ice blocks instead of cubes.
No, Bud Light Seltzer goes on top.
Diagonal layers.
Did you pre-chill the Bud Light lemonades?
Need more ice.
And diagonal layers.
I mean, if you're gonna do it right.
I don't need my hands getting cold.
Why don't you try using the Plumsky method? Brings out the citrus notes. Dad?
Gotta crush the ice, son.
Okay, I'm out.
What's his problem?
Whenever packing the cooler really matters, there's a Bud Light there.
The beautiful Charleston Harbor, the Rowdies, and the Battery here at halftime. A great week of action in the USL. Devin Kerr, you ready?
Let's do it. Why not? It's 2020. Things are crazy. Another episode of The Dish coming at you. It's coming quickly. But it's not going to be goals. It's going to be Brandon Miller. Some kind of form in 2020 for that man. He's been spectacular for the Charlotte Independents. Mike Jeffries always sings his praises. Brandon Miller sings for himself. More of an a cappella group. My name is Ray Ortiz. I like long walks on the beach, combination play, and bangers. Check me out from the top of the 18. Check my profile page as well. I like to score goals. Maybe we can hang out sometime. Ray Ortiz, fantastic finish in the 59th minute. That would be the lone goal. Some not so fun things happening at the tail end of this match. Akeem Ward gets stuck in with Clay Dimmick. Watch this. That's going to leave a mark. 2-game suspension for the outside back for North Carolina FC. 3 losses in a row. That's the longest under the tenure of Dave Saraken. Not so good in Group G. Let's turn the page. Group F, the Charleston Battery. Just absolutely demolishing Miami FC. You know I refuse to say THE because it's not a real word unless you're putting goals in the back of the net and putting points up on the board. The Battery know what I'm talking about. Romario Piggott, check out this half turn. Top of the 18, 34th minute. Don't mind if you do, young man. They'd get back within 1. Miguel Gonzalez, 53rd minute. Great ball by Janusz Luba. Romario Williams would step off the pitch. Not great distribution up top. He was frustrated. I would be too. Got to find a way to get Paul Dalglish's boys going in the right direction, just like this. Dante Marini. Why not? 3-1, Charleston Battery. They're keeping pace with the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Still unbeaten, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, but Charleston Battery right there. And what's the name of this game again? Group E, LIPA-FC. LIPA FC, absolutely. Let's run it back. Antoine Opino. No, it's not Lancaster. No, it's not Luke Spencer. Yes, it is Paolo Del Piccolo. Great movement by Antoine Opino, who steps into the number 9 position, drops it back to his captain, who just puts this one to bed. I mean, it's nice. There's a bottom sheet, a top sheet. Gets him nice and comfy, sticks it in the bottom corner. 1-0, that's all they needed. A couple quality saves by Evan but it would not be enough. The story is the fact that they are 4-1-4. Is it a rivalry if in 9 games you only have 1 win? I'm still trying to figure that one out, and I did get the addition and mathematics, subtraction, ties, whatever. I got it right. 4-1-4, Louisville FC. Good stuff. Pittsburgh Riverhounds, 3-0. Canardo Forbes goes down, no problem. My name's Ryan James. Ray Ortiz likes scoring bangers. I'm just clinical. Far post, fantastic stuff from Ryan James. Inside 11 minutes. Again, Canardo Forbes goes out in the opening 5. You thought maybe their heads are going to drop, maybe their heads are going to roll. Mondonda comes off the line, and Danny Griffin. Ryan James with the brace. By the way, scores 2 goals in this game. Only had 2 goals in an entire career coming in. Riverhounds sit atop Group F.
Thank you very much, Devin. The Rowdies and the Battery, a great Group H matchup. Halftime continues right after this.
The United Soccer League and its 47th championship in League One clubs stand united in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we can create change. Together, we are united against racism.
Passing here, fans enjoying it. Touch now, and the Rowdies attacking, shooting, and scoring! What a goal!
Smith able to get forward. The one-time cross into the area, cleared away. Palmer keeps this one alive. He's going to have a go, and he scores! Great goal from Palmer. It is 2-1 for Orange County Soccer Club.
Good for Wole, use his body. One time to Mo, what a strike! Something from nothing.
Never seems to put a foot wrong. Here's Seguru. Looping ball into the box. Bouchard will head it back. Oh, and it's a beautiful goal from Suarez.
Played forward. Davis tried to slip it through. Does so to Sierakowski. Sierakowski with the chip and the goal.
Beautiful Charleston, South Carolina, on the banks of the Charleston Harbor. Charleston Battery 1, Tampa Bay Rowdies 0 here at halftime. Match brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. What a season it's been in the USL. Player of the Week, Solomon Asante, got the Player of the Week honors. 2 goals, 3 assists in Week 9. St. Louis FC, though, ceasing operations at the end of 2020. Coach, 2 best teams arguably in the USL, San Antonio and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and depending on what happens tonight, it's down 1-0. I don't know the San Antonio score. There might be only one standing, but we've got 45 minutes, Tampa, to get back into this game.
And now a look at the table. Group H. And if it holds, this is what we were alluding to. Pressure on the Rowdies over the final 7 weeks of the season. It would be 21 points for the Rowdies, 20 for Charleston. Group H, coach, has as much parity as any group in the USL.
Well, I mean, you're looking at the top 2 teams. Yeah, you talk about parity. The other 2 teams have been poor throughout this year, especially Miami FC, who made a coaching change, obviously. But those 2 teams in all categories, goal differential, that's what I look at, because it's 9 and the other one 8. 121 and 120 points if this stands, Ari. We're ready for one hell of a second half.
Both of these teams are ready for a great second half. Charleston Battery 1, Tampa Bay Rowdies 0. More halftime. Don't go anywhere.
Get your ice cold Bud Light, Bud Light. Sell to hip. Get your ice cold. Oh, Bud Light. Bud Light, sell to hip. Who needs 2?
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at your Sherwin-Williams store.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete, you're obsessed, you're in love, you're in pain, spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity, because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat. You're not alone. You're supported, pushed, tested, tried, trued, broken, fixed, and put back on track to do it all again. Your road is long, on open highway, completely secluded, jammed with traffic, horns blaring, sirens screaming, speed limit, near misses, head-on collisions, body shops, rest stops, so many tolls to pay. Your destination isn't a place, it's a record, a dance, a feeling. Hands in the air, stands on their feet, joy all around. Because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health, Sports Medicine.
Get your ice cold Bud Light, south to hip. Game's almost over. You know what that means? Last call! Just kidding. Your house, your rules. Stay responsible. Bud Light, hip!
The beautiful Charleston Harbor, a city with so much history, and about 150 fans in attendance here at Patriots Point this evening. Charleston hoping to send them home happy. 1-0 here at the break. How did we get there, Coach? Well, it was early and often Charleston Battery dictating the tempo of this one. And how about Zico Lewis trying to get things going here early? And you could tell from the get-go that Charleston was here ready to play.
They certainly were, and especially on the counter, they've been very, very good. And starting that there with Kelly and Lewis involved.
And then the next opportunity later in the half, again, it was Kelly, Angelo Kelly, who's been so lively here in the first.
Yeah, very good. And that's one of your holding midfielders, by the way. Kelly and Crawford dominating defensively and giving you something going forward, as Kelly does here.
Kelly needed to do well with this one and does. As you see, Scarlett couldn't get on it. Little shimmy here from Zarakostas, upper 90 bender.
Yeah, Kelly again from deep positions, finding that matchup they favor. Whoop! Where you going, Lasso? Upper V. Brilliant goal by Zarakostas.
7 shots from the battery in the first. Zarakostas here thought he was through. Scarlett did well to just turn him and then was able to get a foot on it to block it. Kelly in the end, his shot was redirected by Zico Lewis just wide. Tampa Bay, not a whole lot going here in the first one, Coach. You got to give the battery a lot of credit.
Yeah, you do have to give the battery a lot of credit. Tampa in this particular, some good combination play, some good play there by their wide player Johnson. But again, the recovery off their left back, Patterson, has been brilliant.
You see that they are crediting with Tampa Bay. 1 shot, none on target. A lot of possession for Tampa Bay, Coach, but you got to find a way to do something with that possession.
Yeah, they've been too predictable. Slow in possession, which means speed of play hasn't been high, which means that an opposing team can adjust quite easily, and they've been very vulnerable on the counter. Crawford and Kelly have started the attack from their own halves with very simple, direct vertical passes, bypassing their midfield and finding players up front for good matchups against either Scarlett, Guillen, or Lasso.
And you see Zarakostas, the goal scorer. Niku Daly, right next to him. And Jordan Doherty, the birthday boy, back on the pitch. We take a look at what's coming up in the USL this week. A lot of great group action so far this year. How about the Riverhounds against Loudoun United? Pittsburgh having a really nice season. And Coach, what stands out to you from this slate?
Well, I mean, depending on the score here tonight, the Rowdies, versus Miami FC on Wednesday is a big game as well. Last game they drew 1-1.
Birmingham Legion leading Group G here in the USL. They've got 18 points as we are just about ready to go here in the second half. Charleston has not beaten Tampa Bay since 2018. They are 45 minutes away. Coach, for both teams, what do you want to see?
Well, I think that Neil Collins at the halftime have talked about we need some more energy. We need to be aggressive. And by aggressive, I don't mean kicking people, but a mental aggression to our game that we've had throughout this year. And today they've been flat. So can they find a spark somewhere?
No substitutes that we have been made aware of yet. This is positive, though, from Tampa Bay. Fernandez getting forward. Now to Oduro. Guillen. Do see Jan Ekra, who actually has been inserted into the game. As we get caught up on switches made by both of these managers. Oduro is out, Ekra is in. And perhaps, Coach, what you've been saying, finding some lively ability here. Ekra, someone that they've inserted here throughout the year that can give him something.
Yeah, I was surprised by Oduro's start after not being there for so many years, and he lets people get behind him, run off his shoulder, didn't track well, some foolish fouls, and I think that's a smart move by Neil Collins to get somebody in there that's better on the ball and can give you something going forward.
Been told Leland Archer was given a yellow card. First corner of the game by either team. Perhaps the Rowdies can find something here on the road. Set piece opportunity. In-swinger Tejada. Late dive Kuzminski. He was shielded there by, I believe it was Kyle Murphy. And how about that from Joe Kuzminski?
Yeah, good save. Very smart as well. One of the smallest guys on the pitch. Tejada gets a little seam there at goal. Nobody up front could pick up the pieces, so to speak, and well done by Kuzminski, just paring the ball down and then harassing it and not giving up a rebound, which is obviously key in those situations. And set pieces could be a way for Tampa to get back in this game with their height, be it Lasso, be it Guillen, Scarlett, that got some strong boys.
Couldn't quite tell who that was. It was either Murphy or Guanzati, who did a great job shielding the keeper and tried to just dive out of the way in the final second. But Kuzminski was asked a very big question and came up with the right answer. Here is Doherty with it. Over to Ekra. And now Charleston. Crawford has it taken away. Oh, a late whistle. And bailing out the battery was Matt Thompson, as it looked like Tampa Bay was ready to go the other way. Fantastic ball ahead from Piggott. Rather, that was Gadula playing a beautiful right foot. As you get a look at Forrest Lasso, three-time USL first-team member.
I like what Charleston is doing. They always like to play forward when it's possible, when it's on. And if you can get real estate 20, 30, 40 yards upfield with possession, that's key. Whereas Tampa is more pleased with going side to side as well. A little bit of a late tackle there after the ball was out of bounds. Good 50-50. Zaragoza's the goal scorer.
Coach, what do you see here?
Well, what I see is two players that are battling, obviously, for possession. It's a 50-50, actually. I think that Zaragoza is getting away with not getting a foul called against him. And that's where Gunzati, whose name we haven't, or sorry, Aaron Guillen, is saying, hey, wait a minute.
Ian spent some time playing with North Carolina FC. Matter of fact, nearly 60 games. The third most minutes on their back line. The Florida Gulf Coast University standout. Finding his way just a couple of hours to the northeast. St. Pete area.
And with the Kepa coming in a more advanced position that gets Doherty sitting in front of the back four, and he's a better distributor than Oduro from that position as well. I'm sure that Neil Collins is thinking about being able to get a better passer out of those deep positions, deep lane playmakers.
Van Schack. Switch across, Gadula. Something tonight we've seen quite often as these outside backs get forward. So dangerous for Mike Anhauser's squad. Looking for the 1-2, it was cut off by Tejada. Murphy not on the same page with Fernandez. Coach, just Tampa Bay a little bit tonight, that end result. Not able to find each other. We haven't seen this too often this year.
I've been there, done that. With the Tampa Bay Mutiny in 1996 in MLS, I had a great run as well. Won 8 or 9 straight with DC United when we won the Cup in '99.
Daly spinning, turning, trying to get a shot off, just high. Oh, Niku Daly did oh so well there. Only thing missing was the final ripple of the net.
Again, I mean, you look at the mantra of Charleston Battery. 1 or 2 passes, it gets somebody in good position to go to goal. Whereas the opposite side with the Rowdies, there's just too many passes sideways, quite frankly, that makes play predictable and easy to defend. But going back to the Rowdies and DC United, it's hard to continue to keep winning each and every game, especially when you play almost 3 games a week with travel. It becomes tough on you physically and mentally as well.
Charleston Battery, an entire new line of merchandise for their new era right here at Patriots Point. Go to shop.charlestonbattery.com for the latest jerseys, t-shirts, hats, and more. Moving from Daniels Island here to Mount Pleasant. A much more central area. Talking to some folks from the Charleston Battery earlier this week, they are so excited to have an area that can connect to the downtown peninsula area with more ease. They said it used to be about a 20 to 25 minute drive to get to the old stadium, but now it's about 10 to 15 minutes in a central location, and of course the virus has kind of thrown everything off kilter for everyone around the league, but really hoping a new ownership can allow the Battery to really thrive. Out wide it goes. Ball played inside, back post. Oh, in the side netting. Guenzati almost had a left foot equalizer here in the 53rd minute, but that's better from Tampa Bay.
It is, because, again, higher speed of play, ball movement and player movement. That's so important. They're finally getting some overlapping runs made as well, and then they go to weak side, trying to find that equalizing goal.
Whistle. Lasso, guilty of the foul. A quick restart here, Daly. One-on-one against Guillen. Guillen does well to push him far away from the goal out wide. Now Crawford. Back post, swinging it there. Oh, doing well.
Talk about
Evan Laurel.
Charleston, as you did, Ari. We trained at this facility during our qualifying phase in 2002. That was my first job. Team with Clint Dempsey, Ricardo Clark, Chet Marshall, Eddie Johnson, Bobby Convey. It was one hell of a team, by the way, that had a good run in the World Cup. And we played at the old stadium our matches, so I'm very familiar with the surroundings and the people that are involved in soccer. Be it Mike Anhauser with the Battery, be it Lundy, the coach of the College of Charleston. Brilliant setting, great town, and 2 very good teams.
The regiment, the new supporters group for the Battery, hoping once everything comes back to normal, they can have a lively supporters section. You already saw earlier tonight the smoke bombs going off, the drums, the flags, a brand new era in Charleston. Trying to double their lead here. Penalty spot area, turning, firing high. That was Niku Daly. We've said his name a couple times tonight already. He's played really well.
Yeah, he certainly has. And if you're the lone striker, you got to be able to be always available and put yourself in positions where your teammates can find you. And again, the Charleston Battery are so direct right now. They look to go to goal. They've got good individual skill levels right there with Lewis. And then Daly on that turn, trying to go to goal, just high.
A touch there from Lewis, from Daly to Lewis. And with all the attention paid to Zico Lewis, and rightfully so, guys like Niku Daly have a chance to maybe sneak in there and get on the result sheet.
Yeah, Zaragostas has proven that already from that position there in the first half, not only with the goal, but some other plays as well. Playing behind or off the shoulder of Doherty. Obviously in the first half it was Oduro as well. That back three and your two holders. You can see him right there, obviously, with Ekra and now Doherty in there as well. There's just a disconnect right there that really Kelly, Crawford, Zaragoza, Daly have taken advantage of.
Niku Daly and Zico Lewis both were managed specifically with this game in mind. Mike Anhauser told us earlier this week that they took Lewis off the pitch a little bit earlier in their matchup against Miami FC in the midweek, trying to keep his legs fresh, and they didn't bring Niku Daly on until the 72nd minute in that match.
Yeah, interesting. That's the only time they've been behind actually against Miami. Velasquez scored early, seventh minute for Miami. And then Luki Moksana scores the equalizer in the second half. So it's not unfamiliar territory for Tampa Bay Rowdies, but it almost looks like they're running a little bit out of steam the last few weeks.
Still plenty of time here to go to try and earn a result for the Rowdies as we gain steam on the 60-minute mark.
But at 1-0, Ari, you know that as well as I do, with so many times still left in the clock, with both teams, by the way, still having 5 or 4 substitutions for one and 5 for the other, there is some X factors that can still change this game into the Rowdies' favor.
And one of those reasons, coach, is having a stingy back line that's kept games at 0 or 1 for the other team, so opportunities like this one can arise. And again, Guanzati just not able to find that final combination, to find that bit of magic to put the ball in the back of the net here tonight. Lewis has the speed to get there, and does. Oh, but a late whistle, and I believe the ball might have crossed the end line.
Yeah, which it did.
Now here's Fernandez. Had a goal in the first 3 games after the restart. Has been battling some injuries a little this year. Nonetheless, an important player, midfielder out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Here he is again. Guillen. A lot of numbers back for the Battery. Ekra trying to dissect the field, and a poor ball. Cut off and away from Zaracostas. 2-on-2 action. Zaracostas spins, goes down. A whistle was blown, and it will go against the Rowdies and Ekra. Kelly turns it back to his left. Top of the 18, Crawford, again Kelly. Plays it softly over to Zico Lewis. Flicks it into the box. Oh, it curled back post. I don't think Loro quite had a grasp of that one, and a bit lucky was Tampa Bay that didn't just find and nestle itself in the side netting. Guillen plays it central. Ekra. Now goes out wide. Here is Johnson. Guanzati, little nudge into the back. No call there. Charleston gathers. And now a counterattack sprung here. Zico Lewis, acres of space on the right side. Zaracostas looking to create some contact there, just inside the box. Crawford has a look, doesn't take it. It's cut off. Scarlett to Ekra. Pushed down there by Crawford. And a foul called. You can hear players and the coaches just keep the ball moving. Coach, you noted to me at halftime, at times the ball movement was just a tad bit slow in the first half for Tampa Bay.
Yeah, not a tad bit, a lot bit, actually.
Zekra goes down.
In order to break down compact defenses, your ball circulation needs to be higher. Switching the point of attack needs to be quicker so you can find isolations 1v1. That hasn't happened because every time the ball is switched, which is not done at great pace, you find all of a sudden another center back can come over and create numbers up situations defensively. And I think, again, not great natural width from fullback, so you're relying on 1v1s with Fernandez and Johnson, which hasn't happened right now. And the numbers centrally for Charleston have been great.
Set piece here. Tampa Bay looking for the equalizer. Ekra nods it down, booted away. Guillen corrals, numbers forward for the Rowdies.
And that's a great point you're making there, numbers forward. If you get numbers forward, Ari, you need to get something at goal. You need to get a goalkeeper safe. You need to get a block tackle. You need to get a corner. You need to get something on target, which hasn't happened for Tampa. And again, you give Charleston Battery a lot of credit. Their organization, their discipline without the ball has been flawless.
Give Mike Anhauser and his staff, they have tactically got this one right so far through 60 minutes. Unfortunately for him, Tampa Bay has come from behind before, and there is oh so much time left. Because guys like the one with the ball, Tejada, who feeds it over to Doherty, are so dangerous, all they need is one chance. Trying to create his own chance there with Scarlett from distance, as we will get a pair of subs. It'll be Sebastian Dalgard and Adam Najum into the game. How about this, Guanzati coming off, the star player?
Yeah, who's been poor on the day. 4 goals on the year, which hasn't been good for the big boy in front. And you got to give Charleston a different look. So now you get quickness coming onto the field, fresh legs coming onto the field as well. So you give the opponent a different look right now, because Guanzati is a great player, don't get me wrong. But for Archer and for Van Schaik, he became a quite easy target to defend.
Sebastian Dalgard into the game, just celebrated his birthday, his 29th birthday last weekend. And they took off Leo Fernandez as well, so perhaps Neil Collins making a little bit of a point, taking off 2 of his best players.
Who have underperformed, so I kind of like that. Any given day, you're trying to play your best 11. And within the 11, even if your key guy is off, then you know what? A change is needed. Great statement from Collins. To change, obviously, the momentum of this game.
Archer. Going down was Lewis. Guillen guilty of the foul. And it looks like a couple of subs now for Charleston.
Multiple substitutions for Charleston Battery.
It'll be Marini and Bashois coming on.
Dante Marini replaces Romario Piggott.
And it'll be Piggott, who's one of the Battery players coming off. See the changes being made right there. You can see the difference in height from both of those guys there. Bashois 6'3", Marini 5'6". And Daly also coming off. Both of those guys put in some quality minutes for Mike Anheuser's squad.
Yes, they certainly did.
Bachois on the pitch, goal against Atlanta United. And Marini has been playing well as of late. Had a nice goal against Miami FC in the middle of the week. Here is Marini. Call to action early in his reign in this game, but couldn't get it right. You see the amount of subs remaining there. 5 subs now allowed in 2020, trying to keep teams fresh. Which, by the way, has been a challenge that both coaches have noted was something they had to deal with the restart. Neil Collins said earlier this week to the media, said, and Coach, you could probably touch on this as well, usually you build your team up to a certain fitness level, but when you have to stop, it causes all sorts of problems. As Tejada knocks it back, Najim. Looking for the through ball, it was cut off there. Long ball ahead, Lasso nods it down, and Loro is there. Fans, make sure you follow the Charleston Battery and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the nearly 8 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Approaching the 70-minute mark in this one, Tampa Bay. Rowdies still have only registered 1 shot on goal all evening. Guillen to Tejada. Tejada goes down. Decision time. Matt Thompson waves it off.
And that's the right call as well. Archer's even saying, hey, wait a minute, that should be a simulation. It should be a yellow card.
Marini plays it back. Matt Thompson, the head man tonight, handling the whistle. Kadula does well to trap that one and bring it down. The Battery looking to double their lead and really make it tough on the Battery. Zaracostas plays it through, and they foul the other way.
Very interesting to see as well. You go with the Charleston Battery with a bigger body up front right now. And that's the one that initiated the foul. Bosua, bigger body, bigger target. And then the other side, you look at Najem, the number 19 that came on. For Guanzati, a smaller body and more mobile, which will give Archer and Franchai just a different look. So both coaches trying to manipulate within their system and find up matchups that might favor them right now. Collins making the first moves. Mike Anheuser coming back with 2 substitutions on his own, and it's 1 for the Tampa Bay Rowdies. How can we get back in this game? And for Mike Anheuser, how can I keep everybody fresh here to make it as hard as possible and keep the 0 today?
Zaracostas has some space. Guillen sliding and wincing in pain, as I believe him and Zaracostas made some contact. It is a throw-in for the Battery, and Guillen's still down.
We would like to take this time to recognize Pivotal Fitness, the preferred fitness partner of Charleston Battery.
Guillen in a lot of pain.
Visit pivotalfitness.com to find a location near you.
Might have caught a cleat.
Yeah, great respect there between those players on that level. Understanding there was no intent to hurt anyone.
Aaron Guillen's an Iron Man for this Tampa Bay Rowdies team. Has played every minute of every game so far. here in 2020. Got some trivia for you tonight. Thomas, you're not allowed to answer this one right now.
I don't even know the answer.
Unless you don't remember. What years did Thomas Rongen manage in Tampa Bay? I think Rowdies fans will be able to answer this one. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to figure that one out.
By the way, very enjoyable experience as well. A lot of changes, obviously, in ownership, players as well, but always a well-run organization. Very well deserving of being in first place right now. Just having an off day through 70 minutes, unfortunately.
Here is Marini. Playing it out wide for Patterson. There you see the outside backs getting forward a little bit for the Battery. Now Lewis has it taken away. Can Tampa Bay find something in the final 20 to come away with yet another result? Sign of a good team, even on your off nights, if you can find a result. Usually your season ends pretty nicely.
Absolutely. That's a great point to make, Ari. Find a way, even if you play poorly. Somehow when I coached the great teams, and then 1 year in Tampa, I had a very good team. First year when I was coach of the year in MLS with the Tampa Bay Mutiny and DC. Even when we played poorly, Ari, we found ways to win. And that was just a mental kind of fortitude that I think this Tampa Bay Rowdy team has as well. And they are in this game, without a doubt.
That's something Neil Collins, as you see A.J. Hilton's about to come on. I believe Jordan Doherty will come out.
Lewis Hilton comes on to replace Jordan.
That's something Neil Collins really praised his team on earlier this week, was the fact that he felt like this roster had the mentality of a team that was capable of handling success. And that's something Tampa Bay has done so well this year. You talk about the Liverpools, you talk about the Bayern Munichs, teams that have success. How do you show up every night with your best? And Neil Collins said they enjoy the process. They enjoy coming to training. They know when they haven't played well, and they challenge each other even in those wins. And I think tonight is an opportunity to maybe find an answer here late as well. Make sure you download the Charleston Battery app or go to Twitter to cast your vote for the Heineken Man of the Match. Could Jan Ekras flip the script here? Whistle is up, offside is the call.
You see some flashes right now of what you talked about. Neil Collins being able to insert some players right now, beat Hilton, Najib, that give them just a little spark right now, what this team needs. And some of the sequences towards goal have become somewhat better. They see Collins always under control, observing his team, not getting emotionally involved so he can make the right decisions as a coach. And for Mike Anheuser, it becomes now with, in the 73rd minute, when do I start sitting on this lead? And that's a tough one for a team to manage sometimes. Are we going to drop and protect this lead? Or do we still hunt for that second goal and be aggressive, both physically and mentally?
Speaking of managing, when did Thomas Rongen manage in Tampa Bay? 1996 with the Mutiny, and then of course 14 and 15 with the Rowdies. And you spoke about deserved. Coach, as you see Najim trying to play it ahead. Murphy has a rip. Just high. But Coach, you've done a lot in your career. You've coached American Samoa. You've had a documentary made, and how about a Hollywood film coming your way?
Yeah, and
Thomas Rongen in Hollywood, Taika Waititi. You've got Thor Ragnarok, and what are we talking about? Jojo Rabbit director?
And Michael
big timer over here.
Fassbender is playing me in the lead role.
You have Magneto as your lead? Oh, come on.
Yes, sir.
You've made it, Coach.
Thank you. No royalties, though.
We got to work on that. I got to talk to your agent. Figure that one out. Yeah, you know when Taika Waititi does a movie, this one will be good.
Due to the high temperature
Next
of
Goal
today's
Wins
match, the referee
is the
has
name of the
indicated
film,
safety
also the name of the
hydration for
documentary
players
about
will last up to 3
American
minutes.
Samoa.
Thank you.
And our color analyst tonight, Thomas Rongen. And he led them to their first ever World Cup qualifying win. Here is the hydration break.
Yeah, and this is a good time for both coaches really to emphasize 1 or 2 key points right now. And for Neil Collins right now, it's going, you know what? We have to go for broke. We got to gamble here a little bit. Get numbers in the box. Make it uncomfortable for the Charleston battery. Find first and second balls. You know, that's what he's talking about right now. Give us some width, but we need some forward penetration. And for Mike Enhauser is, guys, let's protect this 1-0. But as you can see right there, let's make sure we don't get in 1v1 situations. That's a clear indication there. Mike Enhauser is saying, hey, listen, let's make sure we always have numbers up defensively.
It's also a good time for the team of the week. And both of these squads, representation, Jan Ekra, you see for the Rowdies in the midfield, A.J. Patterson. What a week 9 both of these guys had.
And Williams from Miami FC.
How about that?
Team of the week. Is he still with them?
Romario Williams, yes he is. Former Jamaican international. He's had some good Gold Cups. Jamaica, a country on the rise in CONCACAF, they have,
without a doubt,
they have done a really nice job. You see Neil Collins, his Scotland side, trying to figure itself out over in Europe.
Yeah, I like what he's done with the insertions of fresh legs, but with a purpose as well.
'77th minute.
And that's what I like right now. Look at the press that Charleston is applying right now and saying, hey, you know what? We're not going to get you in a comfortable situation. There's just 2 big boys going up against each other.
Lasso, strong aerial dual win. But the ball finds the feet of those in black tonight. Zaracostas switches it to his left. Lewis chips it. Oh, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Marini, great combination play. Zaracostas, Loro does even better. Not out of the woods yet is Tampa Bay, and it's cleared away.
The ability of physically smaller players right now, be it Kelly, be it Zaracostas, be it Marini, to really have great penetration off the dribble, without the ball, finding space and time as well, is absolutely brilliant.
Nico
So the
Rittmeyer.
difference for both teams coming on for Tampa Bay Rowdies is Zach Steinberger. He replaces
Zach Steinberger also coming onto the pitch for Tampa Bay. And it will be Zico Lewis who comes off.
Nico Rittmeyer. He replaces number 10, Zico
Perhaps
Lewis.
now, Coach, are we in the point in the game where if you're Charleston, you're just trying to see this one out and see the result through?
Yeah, to a certain extent, absolutely. You're talking about 12 minutes plus extra time, so 15 minutes left as well. The important part, though, is that back 4 and the 2 holding midfielders, and that will be going against the Charleston battery, and correctly so. So the block of 6, he hasn't moved. He's moved players around it. The number 9, the number 10, the left midfielder, and the right midfielder. So Lewis, Bigot, Zaracostas, and Daly, but kept that back 4 and the 2 holding midfielders intact, because those 6 guys have been the engine of this team. Whereas the Tampa Bay Rowdies have made changes in all 3 lines.
Scarlett plays it up ahead. It's cleared away. And you saw Steinberger onto the pitch. His first action since August 12th. It's been a couple of weeks, but Coach Collins really likes how hard he works and how creative he can be to get himself in a position to do something of damage. And at this point, if you're Tampa Bay, you're just looking for that one opportunity. You haven't had many tonight, but all it takes sometimes is a half chance.
Without a doubt.
But if the battery can slam the door shut with one more goal, it'll send Patriots point. Great save, Loro. diving to his right to keep it at 1-0.
I like this too. The Charleston Battery staying high and forcing Lauro to punt this ball, which then ends up
Can the Rowdies find something here in the final 10 minutes? Long ball. Johnson couldn't bring it down cleanly with the left, taken away by Gadula. Up ahead to Bashois. Lasso deflects it off Bashois for the Rowdies throw.
Yeah, that looked like a tired center back. Because that's tough. In a back three, you're always under pressure.
Lasso's been so good.
Lasso and Guillen, as you said, that played every minute, and Jordan Scarlett, a lot of credit. What they've done this year with Lauro, the goalkeeper, has been pretty impressive.
Coach, I know there's at times there's question marks on why a 3-back system versus a 4-back, but if you're going to do 3, you've got to have versatility and 3 guys that you feel rock solid about, and Tampa Bay has all year. They've only given up 7 goals now through 10 matches. You get that feeling if the Rowdies can just find 1 goal, they will feel fortunate to come out of Patriots Point with the result. Battery just trying to hold on. Long ball. Trying to see if Kuzminski was sleeping. He was not up to the challenge.
Yeah, why not? Jordan Scarlett, again, getting into a positive attacking position, going, you know what, let me try to go from distance.
Rolls out for a Rowdies throw. We asked Mike Anhauser earlier this week, do you talk about first place? Is this because the top 2 teams do get in to the playoffs? So both teams look pretty good and pretty safe bets at this point to find a spot in the playoffs. Mike Anhauser said, yeah, you know, the team knows, every one of them knows, it's not just subconscious, it's on the front of their minds that first place, we have a chance to make a run at this thing, where 3 or 4 weeks ago it looked like we were just comfortable and battling for that second spot to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, there's no better way to motivate a player, a team, get your juices flowing, than being able to talk about we can get into first place. And it almost looked like Charleston wanted just a little bit more today. Seemed to have another gear that Tampa never found. As I said again, playing a lot of games in a short amount of time with travel is not easy on anybody for that matter. And I've been there, done that as a player and as a coach as well.
Here is Lasso. Pushes it up ahead to Steinberger. Cross inside, looking for the head, not there. Brought down. Ekra has a fire. In the end, it just wasn't good enough. But maybe one of the only chances we've seen, one of the best chances tonight from the Rowdies.
I talked about it. You have to do something with your possession. That's a cross. Finding a second ball, which they did right there outside of the 80-yard box. Switching the point of attack. Getting the back 4 uncomfortable. As I said again, with numbers in the box, with being proactive as well. That's what Tampa's doing right now. Being a little bit more direct, which they have to at this juncture of the game. And then, as I said again, making sure that your midfielders support that front 3 in areas where you can pick up loose balls and go to goal. That was a good example right there. Didn't come to fruition, wasn't on target, but I think a positive play by the Rowdies.
Kyle Murphy, who had his first goal in a Rowdies uniform. It was the goal of the week in the USL against Atlanta United 2 last weekend. Said he felt good to just get one. It's sometimes the hardest thing is to get that first one with a new club, because Kyle Murphy has played well for a number of USL clubs in his career. Matter of fact, 25 goals in his USL career, 13 of them with the Toros over in Rio Grande Valley. Perhaps Murphy has one more in the tank here tonight, as we're closing in on the final whistle of this one. The Rowdies haven't been beaten this season in 2020. One of only 2 teams in the USL to be able to make that claim, the other San Antonio. The Battery have not beaten the Rowdies since 2018, and with a win tonight, close it down to just 1 point in Group H. Ekra. Now Scarlett. You see Tampa Bay really pushing high now, trying to get numbers in the attack. Going down to no avail, no call with Sebastian Dalgard.
Yeah, the ability again of the Charleston Battery as a team, as a group, as their individual defending has been absolutely brilliant. And again, Patterson doing a great job by not allowing anything to be played into the box.
Archer does well to cut it off. Zarakostas goes down, grabbing his left leg.
Yeah.
So for language, you can hear everything.
That's cramp. You know, these stages, obviously, in particular for the Battery, some of these guys have bridged so much. That cramp will play a role.
That brings out Bobby Weisenberger, the head trainer of MUSC Health Sports Medicine. He's now on the pitch.
And cramp is painful.
I think Coach Anhauser thought it might have been a knee at first, but he just pulled his calf muscle.
No, I didn't pull it. I mean, it's a cramp, which means your muscle just goes into spasm, quite frankly, which is not a pull or nothing serious. Some players can play through it after they stretch and put a little bit of ice on it. Some players have to come off.
Some water in his system, huh?
Yeah, I mean.
Some electrolytes.
Hot night. A lot of miles that these guys have covered.
And this time of year in Charleston, very humid.
And by the way, what a brilliant night this guy had. Scored so far the lone goal, has been brilliant on the attacking end, but he's given his team also so much on the defensive side that a trying of Kelly Crawford and Zara Costas has been absolutely superb.
And now Kyle Nelson will make his 9th appearance of the year. Oh, a foul in a decent spot here for Tampa Bay as Johnson goes down.
Yeah, and these are the opportunities with Lasso, with Guillen, with Scarlett, that you have some height as well and would put some pressure on Archer, Van Schaik, Bosua. It's all about man-to-man marking, some zonal as well, competing for first and second balls and making sure Tampa can't get anything at goal.
Perhaps one of the final opportunities of the night for the Rowdies. It'll be A.J. Hilton, in-swinger towards the back post, getting ahead on it. We'll leave with Steinberger. A whistle and a foul going the other way.
Yeah, great service, and that's where it starts. Good service in, aggressive runs in the box. I think that Forrest Lasso gets a piece of that one, but eventually Kuzminski comes off his line and is brave enough to punch that ball out of trouble, and in the process, a foul against him.
Kuzminski. The toe meets the leather. Battery not done yet, pushing for a second. Oh, and that shot well wide of the mark by Nico Rittmeyer. Final minutes now in this one from Patriots Point. Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Charleston Battery hoping for a monumental victory. Unbeaten in 5 straight, looking to make it 6. Ball up ahead, shoulder to shoulder. Knocked out off of Van Schaik, but I believe a foul was called.
Yes, that's correct, Ari.
A little nudge to the back.
Yes.
Najim, has been with the club for a little bit over a month now with the Rowdies. They got him out of Poland, Wigry Sawalki, and a part of the Afghanistan national team.
The court official has indicated there will be a minimum of 5 minutes at a time, presented by MUSC Health Sports Medicine.
Stoppage time brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. 5 minutes, so a big number added here. Perhaps the Rowdies can find the equalizer late in Charleston. USL's elite pre-professional platform, USL Academy, allows clubs across the USL to build a pathway to pro soccer. By bringing together top local youth talent following the success of the first Academy Cup events, clubs can now apply to participate in the USL Academy League, kicking off in spring of 2021. Rowdy's still looking for a chance. Hilton on his left foot, fires it all high. Well over the bar there, Hilton beside himself.
Yeah, good spell of possession right there with a purpose again, going to goal. Good numbers there, fights for first and second ball. Talked about those second balls, and Hilton would like to get that one back right there, skies that one, and gives the Charleston Battery 20 or 30 seconds of some relief. Push your lines up, get a long kick from your goalkeeper, and battle for those aerial supremacy.
Lewis Hilton, it was just the second game tonight in which he did not get the starting nod in the first 11. The Englishman who's played in Exeter City and at Plymouth, in his time over in the United Kingdom across the pond before making his way and finding a home in the USL. Bashois. Strong piece of hold-up play there. Trying to get a through ball, great cutoff. Blocked by the Rowdies. Dalgard. Long ball ahead. Brought down cleanly. Begging for a handball. Waved away by Matt Tampson. Wow, Kyle Murphy.
Yeah, Dalgard just plays a great ball in there, just over Archer. And then there is this 50-50 that we don't have a great angle of. The Tampa Bay Rowdies players immediately go to the referee for a handball, but play on.
Perhaps it glanced off Gadula's arm. Maybe we'll get a look at that one. Final few minutes. Hilton plays it up. Murphy. Out to Johnson, too heavy. And Johnson a little upset that he couldn't get to that one. Perhaps a little annoyed with Murphy. But it's been that kind of night for the Rowdies. And Neil Collins, the long face there, they haven't had many of those this season, haven't been defeated at all in 2020. They have found a result in each match. Still time left here from Ralph Lundy Field. Hilton trying to beat his man one-on-one, gets it to the middle of the box, headed away. And knocked forward by Bashois. Less than a minute and a half now. Lasso to Guillen. Tampa Bay has scored a couple of goals this season in the final moments. Do they have an answer here tonight? The Rowdies away from home from Al Lang Stadium here at Patriots Point. Charleston has only been defeated one time in 2020 here in Mount Pleasant. Low hard ball, knocked away. Well, the Rowdies just can't get their final foot on it. Loro playing high up now. Gets it to Lasso. Under a minute to play. Does Charleston have its first win over Tampa Bay since 2018? Perhaps the final push forward now. And Thompson holds play up. Not sure what for. Now Tampa will retrieve, play it in, Guillen. Waning moments of this one. Johnson. As the final seconds tick off, the final whistle, there it is. In Mount Pleasant, Patriots Point, Mike Anheuser has done it. He's given Tampa Bay and the Rowdies their first defeat of 2020. And the Battery now just 1 point shy of first in Group H. Coach, you've got to give the Battery a lot of credit. Charleston, you said it earlier in the match, they seem to want it just a little bit more. They get the result that no one has yet to be able to do against the Rowdies.
Absolutely. First loss for the Rowdies this year. A little bit of an off game, but give the Battery, as you said, with Mike Anheuser, a lot of credit. Tactically brilliant, a lot of discipline, and then the difference maker, Zaro Costas, that scores the 1-0. That's how it stands.
And there is the Heineken man of the match, none other than the man born in Greece, raised in Coventry, Rhode Island, Stavros Zarakostas. His goal stands to be the game winner in this one, his second of the season. It was just his third start of the year for the Battery. 1-0 the final from Patriots Point. The Rowdies drop their first game of 2020. And Charleston, all smiles for those wearing all black here tonight in Mount Pleasant. Stay with us. We have plenty more coming up right after this.
So how is it? Great.
This is your vacation, your beach, your fields of green, skies of blue, mountains of majesty. You're an athlete, you're obsessed, you're in love, you're in pain, spirit drained, in agony, fighting gravity, because you made a commitment to yourself and others to work on your game, build your frame in blazing heat, exhausted and beat. You're not alone. You're supported, pushed, tested, tried, trued, broken, fixed, and put back on track to do it all again. Your road is long, on open highway, completely secluded, jammed with traffic, horns blaring, sirens screaming, speed limit, near misses, head-on collisions, body shops, rest stops, so many tolls to pay. Your destination isn't a place, it's a record, a dance, a feeling. Hands in the air, stands on their feet, joy all around. Because when you refuse to yield, your spirit is revealed. You are an athlete. MUSC Health, Sports Medicine.
Stavros Zarakostas, the winner tonight. It occurred early in the first half. The Charleston Battery, they do something no one's done yet in 2020, and that's knock off the Tampa Bay Rowdies 1-0. The regiment having a good time, celebrating a Battery win. The highlights in this one, Coach, it was really all Charleston from the beginning.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. In particular on the counter, and in particular from Kelly Crawford and Zarakostas. What a brilliant ball by Kelly to the goal scorer. The matchup that he wants against the center back and the upper V. Outside of the foot, brilliant pass again. Finds the player of the match, Zarakostas, and he goes inside of the post and says, thanks for coming.
The Rowdies had a slight amount of chances tonight, not many good ones. But here is one of the ones that they were able to have. Coach, just what went wrong for Tampa Bay tonight?
What went wrong with Tampa Bay? We clearly see right here. No anything in the final third. One shot on target, and that's the one right there, quite frankly. That's not going to do it for a very good team who just had an off day. Kuzminski coming up big on that save right there.
Now Tejada, as you see, for Tampa Bay, just trying to find anything they could. A low, hard cross, and perhaps that was the best opportunity of the night. Guanzati couldn't get the final result.
No, we couldn't. And the first time they finally penetrated out wide, get a good cross in, just couldn't connect on that final touch.
Charleston outshot Tampa Bay tonight. 12-8. As you see there, Lauro was asked a big question, came up huge. 12-9, rather. One shot on target only for Tampa Bay. 61% of the possession, a physical battle. But give Charleston credit. They made their opportunities count. And like you said, they might have had dictated the tempo just a little bit more the way that they like to.
Yeah, absolutely. Great execution by Mike Anhauser and his team. An off night for the Rowdies. Only one shot on target, obviously. And that's the way it goes. There's only one standing right now. First list of the year. And that makes this race for #1 in Group H very interesting.
Both of these teams next take on Miami FC. The Rowdies on September 2nd at home at Al Lang Stadium. Charleston gets a week off. They play at Miami FC on September 5th. For my producer, Andrew Weinstein, and former MLS Coach of the Year, Thomas Rongen, I'm Arya Masudi saying good night from the Palmetto State. This has been a presentation of ESPN.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.